Resolved, college athletes should be able to receive additional pay beyond scholarships for their contributions to their respective collegiate programs. The top 5 most endorsing collegiate programs on average make $168 million off their players, yet none goes to the players who help make the school's money. First of all, the collegiate athletes deserve a portion of the money they help generate. Second, from all the work that athletes do, they don't get anything in return. Lastly, NFL players getting endorsement money while college players don't get anything in return.
Our first argument is that athletes deserve a portion of the money that they generate. Mr. Terrap explained, they may have posters with athletes' names or pictures advertising upcoming games. They can also sell jerseys for teams' top players. Some schools even sell video games. Any profits of these sales go to the school or the NCAA. And NCAA rules have banned student athletes from profiting from any of these sales. The colleges are making millions off of their players, and it's not right that they don't receive a percentage of the money that they help the colleges and NCAA make. It's their face in the video games, their merchandise, and their name on the merchandise. It's not okay that they don't get any of the profits. Our second argument is that from all the work the athletes do, they don't get anything in return. College athletes are spending a lot of the time of their lives dedicated to their sport and deserve to be paid for the work. If athletes cannot be paid outright, there is no reason for them to be pursuing entrepreneurial pursuits of their choosing. Student athletes should be able to make money off of their own names or talents, just as student journalists can make freelance writing, or how a student musician can make money at a coffee shop gig. Student athletes work hard to be athletes and students, and therefore they deserve the right to be paid. They are not able to get a job to make extra money, so they need to make money from game attendance, merchandise, etc. Our final argument is that pro players are getting endorsement money from the same thing that college players are not getting money from. College athletes are running out of money. Football players who play the game that sells the tickets and the merchandise and the TV and the television rights that allow the athletic departments to subsidize every other sport on campus, making coaches and athletic directors rich. Student athletes work hard at their sport to earn a scholarship and deserve something in return for their hard work and the money that the school makes off of them from the bowl games and that their school plays in, also the television rights that CBS and other broadcast networks have, with the NCAA owning the rights to each game and the games that the fans come and watch.
College athletes should not be able to receive additional pay beyond scholarships for their contributions to their respective collegiate programs. They are already getting enough handed to them. They get a scholarship which pays for their expensive tuition, and they get free transportation. It's hard to pay them because you'd have to pay every single college athlete in every single sport. Alone, there are over 70,000 college football athletes, and that's just one sport. The NCAA would have a hard time affording that, and the students would get a little amount of money, if anything. Kids may even start joining sports because they want the money, and that is a waste of the coaches' times and the NCAA times. As well as under 4% of student athletes get drafted anyway. College athletes receive enough, and to pay them isn't a good use of the NCAA's money.
College athletes receive scholarships that pay most, if not all, of their cost. Why should they receive more? The average scholarship student debt will increase roughly $600,000 per year, and that was shown from 2015 to 2016. The college athletes should not get paid more beyond their scholarships, and they're just receiving extra money every time they go and play for a game. People might think college athletes getting paid is good, but have you ever considered how many people get drafted? According to USA Today, only a small portion of college athletes get drafted. For example, only 2% of football players get drafted. If you are a college athlete, you might not qualify for the higher league. Say if football players get paid, the third string players would just have to practice and they could get paid. They won't have to play in the actual game. Right now, the bigger programs would sometimes pay for the smaller programs. Normally, the money that the school gets goes towards the facility, training, and university. The school won't have enough money for all of the athletes. The smaller schools wouldn't have enough money to pay all the athletes the same amount of money. So if the athletes could, they would go to the bigger schools and get more money. Smaller schools will shut down and the bigger schools will get overflowed with people. Besides, college students already get paid with scholarships.
Money. All anyone wants is money, but that crave for money has caused an uproar in college athletics. But it's all nonsense. For example, most college universities provide multiple athletic programs. Each program usually has a lot of athletic players on their teams. So, how are you supposed to pay all these athletes without going out of money and making cuts to other programs? Let's say there are 900 students, each making $1,000 a year. Newsflash, that's $900,000. Where are you supposed to get that kind of money?
I make $900K a week. Who much far? I will. I don't know where they got this from. It's 3%. What? Butcher. A lot of people. Hey, Luke Scrooge. You guys have good sauce. Nobody's like this. It's in my bag. Oh, that's cool. Shut the fuck up. Job. Cody, get off. I think it is. It's fine. They're doing their rebuttal. Yeah, you're fine. What happened? It's fine. My friends are giving me $7,000. Then I have to add on to whatever. How much of this is? Yes, ma'am. 12,000. 5K. 5. I can make that in 3 years. I am. I already have a job. When I turned 14, no. What is it called? Rita's? No, it's like that, but it's by Pizza Ranch. The snow cone place. Oh, tropical snow. I'm working there for 7 months, and then once it closes, I'm gonna go to. Are you looking at car prices?
My opponent says that athletes shouldn't be paid for their work or for endorsement opportunities, but they work hard as both athletes and students, and they deserve to get paid. Also, college student athletes don't get the opportunity to take as many classes as normal students. College is normally a time for students to figure out what they want to do when they graduate. There's only a 2% chance that college players get drafted to go pro. That means 98% of college student athletes will go on to live normal lives with regular jobs. But if student athletes spend their time on the sport and not their career during college, they probably won't know what to do. They probably won't know what they want to do. By getting paid in college, it would help them after graduating. The schools don't have enough money to pay the athletes, but Collegiate programs on average make $168 million off their players from game attendance, merchandise, and additional millions if their team plays in bowl games, along with millions coming from television rights to each televised game a certain team plays in. That is definitely enough money to pay the players, but in order for that to happen, the NCAA must change its rules.
My opponent may say that they make all those millions of dollars, but that's before they have to spend all the money on their annual expenses. Even if they pay the athletes, it won't help them in the long run because these athletes, when they focus on their sport instead of their athletic or their academics, then when they don't get drafted, then they won't know what to do. They weren't focusing in the classes, and they won't be able to actually get that job that they want to have when they try and get it. So it's not actually helping them, even though my opponents say it is.
College athletes deserve pay beyond the scholarship funds for the hard work they put in and the money they make for the school. College athletes, never mind. These athletes are having bad experiences from their sports because they put in all this work and get no reward for it. Also, student athletes don't have the ability to study enough or make friendships in their respective colleges. The athletes work hard to make sure that they are at the top of their game to make money not for themselves but for the school. The NFL players are doing the same jobs and being represented in the same ways, but there's one difference. The NFL guys get paid for it. College athletes put in way too much work to be making money not for themselves but for their college. Steve.
Today, my group and our opponents have provided strong evidence to back up our claims. But before I walk up the stage, I want to ask you this. Would you rather waste your college's money paying athletes, or would you rather enhance the environment of your college and the learning environment and grow as a college? Thank you for your time.